Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the Jedburgh Rucking Boots from Goruck. And as a big fan of the company's packs and organizer pouches, I've been curious to try out their footwear for a while now. I saw some videos for their original Mac V1 Jungle Boots, and everybody said that those shoes were very comfortable and durable, which to me are very important characteristics in any shoe, but particularly for travel. You know, I don't travel with a lot of shoes, so any shoes that I do take, I really want something that I know is going to be reliable and comfortable regardless of the activity that I'm doing, and it seemed like these shoes fit the bill. Particularly the Jedburghs with their more minimal style seem like they would just work well in more environments, so I was excited to get my hands on these. I've been testing this out for the past couple of weeks, and in this video I'm going to be talking about my experience using them. I'll go through how they fit, how they felt over longer distances, and I'll also talk about how they compare to other similar items that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, I want to thank the company for sending the boots for me to test out. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the overall aesthetic, this is probably what most attracted me to the boots in the first place. I had heard some great things about the original Mac V1 boots, that they were comfortable and durable, but the aesthetic of those was still a little too kind of shiny and combat boot-like for what I normally like to wear. I prefer a more minimal boot. I like boots in general, but I wear a lot of chukka boots. These definitely aren't going to be as fashionable as many of the chukka boots that are on the market, but it strikes a really nice balance between the two worlds, and you know, that makes sense as these were inspired by the Jedburgh soldiers that dropped behind enemy lines in World War II and did a lot of covert missions. You know, they needed to be wearing something that didn't make it too obvious that they were soldiers so that they could carry out their missions. And so I really love the backstory of that, and it speaks to the versatility of this aesthetic, which is something that I always look for, particularly in a shoe that I want to travel with. So I could definitely, see myself wearing this for rucking, for hiking, but also for going out at night with a pair of jeans. I think they are minimal enough to work well in all of those environments. And they're offered in a few different colors. The version that I have here is the all black, but you can check out the other colors that are offered on Goruck's site. Continuing along the outside, as far as branding, the company keeps things really minimal here. You just have the Goruck arrowhead down near the heel, and then you have the logo on the tongue. But beyond that, pretty simple, minimal aesthetic, which is great. On the exterior, for the upper, you have what they call their deception canvas. So it's not actually canvas, it is a recycled polyester that's woven very tight to give it a canvas-like appearance. So it looks great, but it has some added benefits over canvas in that it's going to be a little bit lighter and it's going to dry much quicker when the boots happen to get wet. And so I really love the look that this upper gives. It's not super stretchy. The idea behind it is it's also going to keep the boot's shape over time. That's another drawback from canvas, is that it'll stretch and kind of get deformed. These are meant to hold their shape regardless of how much you use them, and in my experience I can definitely see how that would be the case, as this doesn't have a lot of give, but it's not super constricting either, so a nice balance there. As I was mentioning, the material dries quickly. These are shoes that are not meant to be waterproof by design. In a lot of the Goruck challenges or situations where these boots may be used, they'll actually be getting submerged. So shoes that are waterproof don't do super well once water starts to seep in through the top. So Goruck understands this, and they've actually provided some vents down near the bottom that are going to allow water to drain out so they dry quickly, as opposed to trapping water on the inside. On the channel, we've looked at shoes like the Vessi Cityscape sneakers, which are completely waterproof. They're meant to keep your feet dry, but as I showed in the video, for those, if water gets in near the top, your feet are going to get wet. They're a little bit breathable, but moisture is going to get trapped in there, which is definitely not what you want to feel when you're rucking 4 miles on end with a heavy bag. You want to be able to allow your feet to dry. So I really like the idea behind this. I think it's a good balance, particularly for the environments that they're meant to be going into. And then on the bottom, you have a pretty lightweight EVA outsole that offers a nice amount of comfort and support while keeping the overall weight of the shoe pretty low. Boots in general are some of the heavier shoes that you might normally use, and I think Goruck does a good job of balancing, durability and support and comfort with keeping these still lightweight enough to be used over longer distances. It's not a shoe that you'll probably pack into a suitcase or anything like that. It's still going to take up a decent amount of space, but if you had to place it into a larger carry-on, the weight impact wouldn't be as bad as it might be with some other shoes. And then on the bottom, you have a pretty good amount of traction and tread. This isn't going to be as grippy as something like the Danner boots that I'm showing in the footage here. These are the ones that I've used for a recent hiking trip to Zion National Park. They worked great. I think these shoes are, as I mentioned, not quite as grippy, but they offer enough grip so that if you're, in a muddy environment, somewhere where it's a little slicker, they're going to be able to provide you the traction that you need, but it's not also going to be too overwhelming for being in a more urban environment. So I think it's a nice balance. I haven't noticed any issues with slipping as of yet. And then another note on the outsole is you have a 13 millimeter heel to toe drop. This has felt great to me. I've tried out shoes in the past that are more barefoot style, so they have zero heel drop like the Lems Chukka boots that I'm showing in the footage here. Some people really like that style of shoe. I still prefer to have this little bit of elevation on the back. I feel like it's more comfortable for the activities that I normally like to engage in, particularly with these types of boots. Goruck has a lot of information on the support and benefits of the outsole that they have here, so I'll make sure to link to that in the description below if you want to read a little bit more. But overall, from somebody who's just using the shoes, not a total expert on outsoles, they felt fantastic compared to many of the other shoes that I've used in the past. And then taking a look at the inside, you have a removable insole that offers plenty of padding and comfort. Definitely something that has been nice to wear, for many hours throughout the day. As I've been testing this out, my feet haven't felt fatigued. It's also nice that you can take these out to allow them to dry if the shoes happen to get wet. Taking a look at the laces, this is something that I also really love about Goruck's boots is the speed laces. So you have 6 eyelets where you kind of put the laces through, and then you can quickly pull them tight when you put the boots on. This also makes it very easy to remove. So putting boots on is something that I'm never that crazy about, particularly some of the taller boots that I've had. It's just tough to kind of get your feet in and out. You really have to loosen everything. It can be kind of stiff, and so I think that this is an awesome system that allows you to get them on and off quickly and without any sort of strain. And then as far as the fit, I found that the boots have been pretty true to size. I ordered these in an 11.5, which is the size that I wear for most of my other shoes. They've been very comfortable. On the company site, it says these are broken in and ready to go from the first time that you wear them, and I found that to be the case for the most part. One thing that I did want to call out is that, I have wider feet and a little bit of a higher instep, so the shoes have felt tighter up near the top for my foot type. That may be different depending on how wide or high your instep is. For me, they felt tight when I first put them on, but as I started walking, I actually didn't notice any issues, even the first few times that I wore them. So, I think the promise has been fulfilled. You could walk around with them right away very easily and not feel any sort of discomfort. They also have a wide toe box, which I really love, particularly as somebody with wider feet. And also, your feet tend to swell when you wear shoes for a longer period of time, whether you're traveling or rucking. And so it's really nice to have that space for them to expand and not feel everything crunched up. And so a really nice fit overall. I also love how locked in your ankle gets when you put the shoes on and you lace them up. So I've worn them for longer distances, a long amount of time, just walking around on different surfaces. And so far they felt very comfortable. I haven't noticed any fatigue in my feet, any blisters just yet. I'll continue to test these out in more environments and on trips going forward, but so far they've been awesome. And if you're somebody who's in need of a durable and comfortable shoe that's going to work well for traveling, everyday use, and also be able to hold up to the rigors of a Goruck challenge or some longer hikes, then these are going to be a fantastic option to check out. And so to wrap up, it's been a great experience testing out the Jedburgh Rucking Boots over the past couple of weeks. And you can currently purchase these on the company site for about $175, which is definitely a bit of an investment. You are, however, getting a very comfortable and durable shoe that's going to offer lots of support, and they also compare well to other similar items in this price range. And so as I was testing these out, the shoes that these most reminded me of are the Lems Chukka boot, which I looked at a while back, and those were very comfortable, minimal shoes, a little bit different style than these. Those are barefoot shoes, so they're zero drop. There's a lot of interest in that type of shoes, particularly in the travel community. And I don't like the look of those shoes quite as much as the Jedburghs. I also found these to be slightly more comfortable just for my preferences, but those have held up very well during the time that I've had them. I still use them. Again, they have a very kind of minimal look that's going to work well in many different environments. So if you like barefoot shoes and you're looking for something in a Chukka boot style, those are going to be a good option to take a look at. The next shoes these made me think of were the Tropic Feel Canyon shoes, which we looked at pretty recently. And those aren't boots necessarily, but they did remind me of these shoes in the sense that they're very comfortable and they're meant to get wet and expel water quickly as opposed to being waterproof. And those have been very comfortable to wear over longer distances. They have a little bit more of an athletic feel. They look more just like a regular sneaker, but they've held up well in a variety of environments. They have good grip, support. They're not going to be quite as rugged as these shoes, but they're a lot more lightweight. They're great for swimming. And if you're looking for a nice complement to this type of shoes, then those are going to be a good option to keep in mind. And then the last item that I'll mention here is the Vessi Cityscape and Weekend sneakers. Those have been great to use. They're actually completely waterproof, so they have a little bit of a different philosophy than Goruck and Tropic Feel as far as their shoes. They keep your feet completely dry if you get into a puddle, get caught in some rain, and it's worked very well. I've always been impressed with how well they keep water out. They still provide some breathability. They're also pretty comfortable to wear. They're not quite as comfortable as these shoes, in my opinion. Are not going to offer quite as much support, but they're very lightweight. They have a variety of different styles. They're a little more modern and minimal looking, and if you're looking for just some stylish shoes that are going to keep your feet dry, then that's going to be another great option to check out. With that being said, the Jedburgh Rucking Boots compare really well against those items, and if you're looking for a pair of boots that's going to hold up well in pretty much any environment and offer plenty of comfort and support, then these are going to be a fantastic option to take a look at. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think of the Jedburgh Rucking Boots and how they compare to some of the other travel shoes that we featured on the channel. And if there are any similar options that you think I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank the company again for sending the boots for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.